All right, Dangerous Dan here at the barn. What I'm showing you here, preparing day before July 3rd. July 2nd's today. See the American flag. July 4th is coming, so it's dirty, my barn. But what I built here was 120 mortar tubes. I made some kind of concoction out of an old system I had here, put some 2x4s on it. I even made a little trailer hitch with a hook and stuff to go on my tractor, so I can just hook it on there, and this way I don't have to try to carry it out to the pasture when I have it. What you see here is I've set it up. I use cannon fuse. It's cake fuse, basically what they call it. I have different styles, like here's a slow cannon fuse, hobby fuse. You see there it says fuse speed per foot, 28.6 seconds to 29. So what I've done is I have some faster fuse. It's green. So what's happening here, I have 120 tubes on this rack. So yes, 120 mortars, plus probably another, a lot of them to light off individual. This is my grand finale rack. It's going to pretty much start from the middle here. I've got a side fuse here. You can see it's taped up there. It's going to go down the middle there, straight down the middle. It's going to come back. Kind of just nice pace and everything. And then I started with some green fuse. So when I get to this second to the last row on this side, it's going to go a lot faster. Still not quite a finale, but they will go a lot faster and all the way back down. Once it hits the end, it's going to jump way over here, which I haven't finished taping yet. I'm going to show you how I'm doing this. It's going to hit that middle tube there. And as it comes up, it's going to Y off right there with all my multi-connections. It's going to shoot these tubes back like crazy, but while that rack's going, the ones over here are going to be going simultaneously. So I'm going to get like a mini grand finale with that row of tubes in the back. But when this hits the fuse here, I'm going to have all three of these tubes are going to go off along with these tubes closer to me toward the blue tape, but the ones that aren't taped yet, but they're going to go off along with 3, 3, 3. So I'm going to have like 4 shots at a time, or multi, and it's just going to go all the way down to the end. And then I just did a back fuse on there to be safe. Ties all 3 of them in together in case one of my grand finale lines don't take or doesn't work. I can back feed it and we still have everything shot off at once. People don't know about fusing. They wonder, hey, how do you do all this? I have all these screwed down, so if I have a misfire and a tube blows up on me, it's not going to knock the other tubes down and shoot off in an angle or into my barn or somewhere else that shouldn't be. If you put them in a box or you have a crate of them, you want to put them in a banded box or wood box, and you kind of want to put a band around it or something to reinforce it. So if one tube goes off, you don't lose the whole box, and keep them all together. But basically, you can use these clips you can buy, but you can use masking tape. You can use this blue tape. The blue tape's not as sticky. Masking tape is really good, but if you get moisture, it'll gum up and not work. They do make a Scott's tape, I should say. It looks like the blue tape almost, but it's for concrete. It sticks to concrete, and that's really sticky, and that works great. But since I'm an old electrician, I love the electrical tape. You just got to make sure you lay the 2 fuses together and tape it up pretty tight and just give it a wrap. I use pretty much a wider tape so I can catch more of the fuse. This type of fuse anyhow, as long as it's just laying on top of each other, it will light. That's pretty easy, but you definitely want to tape them good and take your time and make sure they're side by side and you're good to go, because you don't want half your rack going off and then missing a finale or something like that. But anyway, so you can see I've just taped the fuses in a line how I want them to go off, and the direction of the burn is going to go this way. So my fuse is, or actually that's the other one, but you want to face your fuse usually toward the direction the burn's coming from. So when it's burning this way, you see my fuse is going toward the burn. A lot of times it don't matter, but it just seems to work better because you have an open end fuse. But anyway, I used a red cannon fuse, just about 1/4 of a foot, if that, which is probably going to give me about 5-10 seconds plus the initial fuse of the mortar. And that's what's going to happen over here. Then I went to the green fuse, which goes a lot faster. Then of course I continue with more faster green fuse that even goes faster. Plus I have multi-tubes that are going to be going off at the same time. So anyway, while I have this blue tape, what I've done is when these go off, they're going to let off sparks or something maybe. And I'd hate for a piece to land on one of the fuses and drop in the middle somewhere, like over here or over here. Because then what it's going to do is it's going to light that rack's going to go normal, and then this rack's going to start, and I'm going to have a big mess. I'm going to have more fireworks going off than what I want. You kind of want to keep them in order. Too many at one time, you get a wash in the sky. It doesn't look really good. Sounds good, but doesn't look good. You kind of want enough of them that's shooting off and kind of in different directions. My tubes are pretty much straight up. Some are slightly angled, but I have an array of the front ones going off while the back ones are going off. So that's going to put it in the sky a little separated, so you're going to see a nice display. Anyway, so I'm using this blue tape to cover my wiring here. Because as these are all just exposed, like I said, if a spark hits this here, it'll set off my whole grand finale and back feed. So everything's going to go off here, while this side should be doing them slowly. So what I've done is you just pinch blue blue painter's tape on it. And normally I'll leave a bigger droop between here, so it can just lay here. But since I kind of made them quick and tight to save cannon fuse, save a few dollars, I've actually just carefully taped them down against the side of the fuses so they're not directly on top of the tubes. So in case a mortar goes up and hits this tape, and the tape kind of, it's not going to really stop it, it's going to blow right through it. But if it snags it up enough, it could misfire or not get it to height, and it fires at a lower level, which can cause a lot more of a problem. We don't want that. We want them to go up to their 100, 150 feet max range. Sometimes they go higher. Depends. Sometimes you get a low one, it goes off a little premature. But normally we light them off, and then at the very end I basically light this long fuse. Gives me about a minute and a half. I come back with the rest of the group. We're going to probably have about 25 or 30 people here tonight watching, and tomorrow night on the 3rd, and hopefully if the sheriff don't show up again like last year, we can finish. And last year we were fine on the 4th, but we're going to try to do this on the 3rd since it's a Saturday, and then Sunday we might do a few more, try to get rid of my stash and then let it go. But last year we didn't have a problem, but we did it the next weekend thinking they were still legal, which they didn't. Anyhow, he was really nice about it. He came out, we thought they were legal. He went back, checked on it, and they're still trying to fight. It's passed the Senate and the House now, but governor hasn't signed it into law or anything. So, but anyway, he was nice, and he just said stop doing it. So we're gonna give it a try again this year, and just the neighbors love it. They always every year come by and say thank you for the display, and that's my firework rack, 120. And maybe I'll get this on video this year. My original rack was something like this one, and it really just had 8 tubes on there. So throughout the year I've been getting fireworks and collecting all the tubes. And just to let you know, if you do this by yourself, you want to make sure you have which HPE hype tubes they're called. They're a heavy plastic. A lot of these new fireworks, the Excaliburs, come with these nice heavy-duty plastic tubes, plastic basing. You screw them down and get a nice spacing on them. The other ones are their fiberglass. If you look at these, if you're touching them, you got to make sure you wash your hands. You'll itch. But they're a fiberglass tube, and they're just paper. A lot of the paper I peel off after a while, and it's actually just a wooden platform it sits on. They actually have pins come up from the wooden platform. They set a tube down with glue around here and in the tube, and these little pins are sticking out, and they put a little bit of concrete in there just to fill it up just a little bit, and when that cures, it keeps the base to the tube, and also gives you a platform at the bottom of the fiberglass tubes. The reason you do not ever use PVC pipe, drain pipe, or anything like that, because if you have a misfire and that explodes, that's going to send that pipe in multi-little pieces as shrapnel. And it's not the fireworks you need to worry about. It's all the little minor shrapnel pieces from that plastic just disintegrating and going to go everywhere. And if you're even nearby, unless you're very fortunate, you're going to be embedded. It's just going to be like glass shards going in you. So make sure you get hype tubes or fiberglass if you're actually going to do this. Look it up online, Google it to make sure you're doing it the right way. Don't be foolish. And always remember, when I light this, my pasture is either watered down, I mow outward with all my hay piles, and we've been lucky to get rain ahead of time, but I still water down the area around here before I pull it out, just to kind of prevent any type of fire. I also have my fire extinguishers available. I have a long extension garden hose in the back of my barn that I can pull out if I have to. Because once I light this rack, there's no stopping it. I can't throw water on her. I can't do a fire extinguisher. It just got to finish. Because once you try to stop a fuse with water or something, they may slow down, but they'll still go off. These fuses can actually go underwater. That's how they burn phosphorus. So anyway, it's a long enough video. 10 minutes is enough. Hopefully I'll have a check back with you guys later on, and we'll see if I can get this on video actually when they're going off. Have a wonderful day and a safe 4th of July. Goodbye.